Not bad. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. Got the drag boat on the block. Today we're going to paint this boat. Okay, I had quite a few requests on the paint process, so going to kind of briefly walk you guys through the whole process. It's a long 2 or 3 day process, so I'm going to kind of touch base throughout, you know. So stick around, you guys. We're going to paint a boat. Krylon Fusion, it's actually good stuff. We're going to be painting it matte red pepper. That's the base coat. I used the automotive Rust-Oleum primer. This is a filler and sandable, okay? 2-in-1. This stuff is boss. Been using it for years. Auto body, like boats, it's good. Metal, fiberglass, epoxy. It goes on thick, it dries, and is sandable within 12 hours. I would definitely give this stuff up to 72 hours before top coating, okay? Now, I actually used this as a filler, okay? Any spots that I had, this boat, I basically sanded it to finish before I primed it. So I had a couple little dimples that I needed to fill. I just used this, sprayed it in a little cup, and painted it on my dimples, my little low spots, you know? Filled it with the primer so I didn't put any heavy filler or anything. Of course, if you have big spots you got to fill, then yeah, you're going to need to use a filler. But I used the primer. It worked. It works perfect. That's why I like that. This stuff, I wouldn't hit a goat in the, I wouldn't use this stuff. I mean, it works, you know, but you can't sand it. And I don't know. I just don't care for that 2X Rust-Oleum. At Lowe's, you can get this assorted project pack. I like it for my wood boats. This stuff actually, this sandpaper is pretty good. It comes with like 60, no, it comes with 80, 120, 180, 220, and 400. I'm going to sand it with 400 all the way across the board, okay? So I got all my hardware off, pretty easy, pretty easy. I sanded all adhesive off there, easy peasy. So I made me a couple little sanding sponges here out of my, you know, just super glued some sandpaper on there for those radius areas. And I made this little finger sanding board, you know, kind of cut an angle on the front so I can get in these channels, get to some hard to get to places, okay? So I'm gonna sand it up. I'm not gonna video the whole process. I'll just kind of include a little fast forwarded clip. Alright, you guys, so I've actually been sanding this boat for the last 2 or 3 hours out in the shop. I took it out to the shop so I could do a thorough, like, sanding on this thing. You know, I've actually went through with a fine-tooth comb, went over the whole boat with that 220. Inside corners, outside corners. I tried to round any sharp edges, you know. Paint tends to chip off of sharp edges, so I kind of try to round them off if I could. Okay, I took a ruler to the bottom, made sure the bottom was straight, you know, flat. The ride pads, didn't really touch those too much because I got them on the money. I finished up my rear skis. Literally, I just finished up the bottom of these, so we're going to spray those red as well. Okay, my hatch is done. You know, I just made sure I didn't have any dimples anywhere. A nice surface to bond to. You know, the most important part when you're painting a boat is your primer. Okay, if the primer's not right, the rest of the boat won't be right. So I'm gonna tape it up. You guys know how to do that. It's simple. Okay, just painter's tape. Some printer paper. As you guys seen, I rolled it over inside the boat. All right, I decided I'm gonna paint the inside of this hatch. Okay, the only reason I am gonna paint it is because I have a carbon fiber hatch. It's not painted. I can sand around the edges and make it fit once I build the paint and clear coat up. Okay, if you're using a hatch that's painted or finished and you're not going to be able to sand around it to fit it, then you might want to think about taping the edge of this up and hand painting it, okay? If you don't, you'll have to go through and sand it, and you may scuff up the final paint, okay? So I made me a little hook because I'm going to hang the boat up. I made me a little hook right here out of some like bendable wire. Okay, it bends easy, it's heavy duty. Just went into my water intake. I need to trim up that little piece right there. I don't want to touch my boat too much because I've already got it wiped down. I got my my stuffing tube's taped up. I want that right there to be painted so it looks cool. Okay, everything's wiped down. I took a blue cloth and I sprayed it with a brand new one. Okay, no dust on it. I sprayed it with one little mist of 51% alcohol, and I actually let it sit for about a minute. I don't have a tack cloth. If you have a tack cloth, use a tack cloth. Okay, I wiped my boat down really good with that like damp alcohol. Actually sprayed that Fusion gloss on this on the water wet pedal here. I'm painting a police boat. It actually turned out pretty good. I had already like clear coated the boat with some Rust-Oleum, and there was like fuzzies and stuff all over it. So before I sprayed that Fusion on there, I actually sanded it with 500 grit, you know, knocked the fuzzies off the whole top side, and it actually turned out really good. I got a nice clean coat. I wish I would have wet sanded it, because you can actually see a couple little swirl marks under the clear coat, but I think it turned out great. Alright, so if you're going to sand in between clear coats, your final clear coat, if you got fuzzies, you need to wet sand it. Give it plenty of time to dry, then wet sand it, okay? Alright, so I got it out here in the shop, got me a little paint booth made. Nothing fancy, okay? This ain't a professional video. It's not a professional paint video. I'm just showing you guys how I do it, because I had some requests for it, alright? Just got it hanging from a wire, couple wires, so I could spin it. You know, maybe the wire will help it hold its position once I spin it around, type deal, okay? And I'm just gonna go at it, man. I'm gonna lightly dust it. And before you paint anything, you need to think about your approach. You know, the approach with the paint can. You know, I've got these little grooves right here, so I know it's gonna be hard for me to get paint in the bottom of that groove, in the bottom corners. So I'm gonna kind of like lightly mist it about 12 inches away from it in those grooves first, and then hopefully the paint will kind of lay down in there. Here goes nothing. So make sure you wear PPE. Guys are always giving me a hard time about wearing PPE, but you guys don't see me wearing PPE. I'll always wear this this face covering whenever I work with paint, whenever I work with carbon fiber. You know, make sure you work in a well ventilated area. You guys are grown, you know. Y'all should know to wear PPE. I shouldn't have to remind you. But I went a light dusting, basically. I mean, I did total coverage, but I did a light dusting. Yeah. We're going to give it about 15 minutes to set up before our next coat, so it don't drip on us, okay? This right here is what the second and third coats are going to stick to. Probably just do 2 coats if I can get away with 2 coats. Paint adds weight to a boat, you know. I really want to go heavy with the clear. So it's been about 15 minutes, you know, and there's some moisture in the air because it just started raining, of course. Of course. Oh, it looks good, you guys. That red pepper looks good on the boat. So I'm about to recoat, okay? And with my experience recoating, you don't want to wait for your parts to completely dry. You know, you want it to be tacky, but not wet when you overcoat or apply a heavy coat in a certain area. If it's still wet, it may drip. If you oversprayed an area, then you don't want to apply paint right now. You guys see how it's still wet, still pliable. It possibly could get that top coat on and loosen up the existing paint, and it could build up and run. Okay, so I'm going to wait till this heavy paint right here tacks up a little bit more. got 2 coats on there. That's good. That's all I want. Okay, any more is going to add weight. So it's been another 20 minutes since my last coat. Okay, the paint is tacky. Okay, you guys can see it. I'm not leaving a fingerprint. It's still damp. It's still tacky, but it's not completely dried. So we're going to spray the clear, this gloss clear. I'm going to go ahead and spray it on the boat. This is where I mess up, you guys. I always mess up with my clears. That's why I always have to freaking re-sand, wet sand, you know. But you got to wet sand. You can't recoat. Once you've coated it, you can't recoat for like a week. You know what I'm saying? All right. Shake it good. Shake it good, boys. Shake it good. Boom! Guys can't really tell right now, but it actually turned out pretty good. My first coat was a half a coat basically, so it's basically 2.5 coats, you know. It added some weight to the boat. I could feel it because I used, this is a 12-ounce can. I used about half of that, and this one's empty. That's 12 ounces. Jeez!
Full trigger. Wow. Full trigger. Full trigger.
Boom! It's been 2 days. Full 48 hours till I freaking touched it and pulled it down. Got 2 coats of red, 2.5 coats of red, 3.5 coats of clear on the boat. So I wanted to give it plenty of time to cure before I started handling it. Okay, and it actually looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I went heavy with the clear on the cabin right here, you know, and yeah, I think it looks nice. I got a Jet Jam sticker for the windshield right here. All right, Jet Jams come with 3 sticker sheets, so I'm gonna use that. It's not scale, okay, and I don't think I'm gonna spray the white accent or the gray. The Lucas oil boat actually has white and blue. I was going to do white and gray, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I like the way the boat looks. My Lucas oil stickers came in and they're actually red, not blue, so it's not going to be a scale boat, so there's no reason to paint it scale. I think I'm just going to go with the red. It's actually got a white background, so I'm going to have to work on that. I think the white background, you know, with the stripes, it just made it look too busy. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll put all the sponsor stickers. I've got some sponsor stickers that I'm going to put on it. And I've actually got my hatch prepped up so I can make another carbon fiber hatch. I got it waxed, and I got PVA sprayed on there, the release agent. So I'm going to make another carbon fiber hatch so I can run an inside hatch and a topside hatch for the motor. By the way, I got the motor all painted up. Turned out good. The little fuel tank, sprayed it, cleared it. Okay, the motor's not cleared, but I got it basically painted. I got it touched up right here where I had a CA drip from where I put the aluminum headers. This is a soft, bendable K&S aluminum that I kind of drilled some holes, CA'd, and baking powdered my headers in. Alright, got the pulleys all painted up, the blower, everything. Alright, she looks good. Looks good. It's gonna give it some nice character. You know, I kept my pipes short so that they're not sticking out too far in a crash. It'll, you know, mess up the motor. I got it ironcladed out. It should be good. I got all my hardware buffed up. We're about ready to install all that. Got it all cleaned up, got it sanded, you know, for hydrodynamics. Okay, shortened my rudder up, buffed it up, got the base worked out, because the base, I had actually drilled this this kick up bracket right here a little bit low, so I got it filed down to size so it don't look so odd. Okay, and I think we're going to go ahead and put the sticker sheet on. I don't think I'm going to paint any accents. I just don't want the white. I think it looks cool, all red like that. Red pepper, you know. D-U-N. Oh man, it turned out really good, you guys. I don't have the motor mounted. Still working on my hatch, mid-process with that. Hopefully next video I'll have it done. But it looks mean, you guys. It really does. It looks freaking boss. Oh man, that motor sets it off. And I was going to put the fuel tank in front of it, but this boat, I think the motor runs a little bit forward, and it actually looks better forward like that, you know. And I'm gonna put the tank right here when I finish up the hatch. I think I am gonna make the little parachute system. Whether or not it works is a different story, but that might be a cool project, you know. Oh yeah, it looks good. I got all the hardware on. I used marine adhesive sealant. Okay, I'm going to take the motor off so you guys can see the bottom. It turned out good. The sponsons are done. We'll get those on one day for a few runs, you know, kind of tinker around with that. The bottom turned out good, minus all my little fingerprints from working on the boat. Okay, you guys can see where I painted the stuffing tubes, kind of give it a finished look. Alright, sanded them down to finish. You got my rod pads finished up here. I left a few marks. I should have hit those with 400. But I left a few marks. But actually, I like a little bit rough ride surface. I'll probably rough it up and sand it a little bit and, you know, fine-tune the angle. Because it's at 4.70 before I sanded the boat. I'll actually include a clip right now if I still have it.
So it was a chilly day that day. I've also found them along areas where they stepped on burrs and sharp rocks.
Melton compares Avalos's smaller casts with some from his own collection that are thought to be adult.
Yeah, 4.70 before I sanded on my main ride surface. I think my set takeoffs were 7.9, 7.8, and then these appear like 12. You know, both of those 12. But it turned out good, you guys. Oh man, the sticker sheet actually did it some good, you know. The motor really makes it pop. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys go. Hopefully my DIY rattle can paint method helps you guys out. You know, it might not be the right way, but it worked for me. It worked for me. I'm not going to wipe the boat down yet. I'm going to give it a couple more days before I wipe it down. I'll probably wax it. I don't think I'm going to top coat it anymore. I think it's good. I'm going to wax it so my tape don't stick to the paint. I'm going to hit it about 4 or 5 times with some turtle wax, buff it off, and she should shine up pretty good. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Big B, with Anklet RC.